Good morning students. In this video we will discuss about last cell organelle, that is nothing but nucleus. So this is the diagram of nucleus. So what is nucleus? It is the one of the double membrane. It has two membranes. Nucleus is double membrane, one of the largest cell organelle present in the cytoplasm of many eukaryotic cells except mature RBC and matured sieve tube elements. In these two cases, nucleus is absent. In remaining all cases, nucleus is present. So what is nucleus? It is the double membrane, largest cell organelle present in many of the eukaryotic organisms except matured RBC and matured sieve tube elements. And this nucleus, the nucleus was discovered by Robert Brown. Initially it was discovered by Robert Brown, but later it was discovered as chromatin with the help of dye, and the chromatin material was discovered by, the term chromatin was given by Fleming. The nucleus was discovered by Robert Brown. And nucleus is one of the largest double membrane cell organelle present. And nucleus is also called, the another name of nucleus is, it is called karyon, Karyon, karyon. So nucleus is also called karyon. And usually in eukaryotes a single cell possesses single nucleus. If a cell contains only one nucleus, then this condition is called uninucleate condition. If for example this is a cell, if this cell has only one nucleus, then the cell is called uninucleate condition. And nucleus is also called karyon, and it is also called, uninucleate condition is also called monokaryotic condition. Mono means one, karyon means nucleus. If cell has only one nucleus, it is called uninucleate or monokaryotic condition. In some cases, a single cell possesses two nucleus. For example, paramecium. So paramecium belongs to kingdom Protista. So paramecium contains two nucleus. A single cell possesses two nucleus. If a cell contains two nucleus, then this condition is called binucleate condition. In paramecium, there is a large nucleus and small nucleus. Large nucleus is called macronucleus and small nucleus is called micronucleus. Macronucleus helps in, it controls the metabolic activities, and micronucleus helps in storage of genetic information. So genetic information stored by micronucleus and metabolic activities is controlled by macronucleus. Usually nucleus controls all metabolic activities of cell. Generally one cell possesses one nucleus. If one cell contains two nucleus, then it is called binucleate condition. If one cell contains three nucleus, then it is called trinucleate condition. In some cases, more than two nucleus or more than three nucleus present, then this condition is called, multinucleate condition. More than two nucleus present in a cell is called multinucleate condition. Multinucleate condition in animal cells. Multinucleate condition in animal cells is called syncytium. This is very, very important. Multinucleate condition in animal cells is called syncytium, whereas multinucleate condition in case of plants and fungi, then it is called koinocytic. Already we will discuss in the kingdom fungi. So many nucleus present in aggregation, that is known as koinocytic condition. Multinucleate condition in animal cells is called syncytium. Multinucleate condition in plants is called koinocytic. And similarly, multinucleate condition also present in slime molds. There also belongs to kingdom Protista. Multinucleate condition in slime molds, that is known as plasmodium. Generally one nucleus present in a cell. If two nucleus present, binucleate condition. If more than two nucleus present, then it is known as multinucleate. Multinucleate in animals is called syncytium. Multinucleate in plants is called koinocytic. Multinucleate in slime molds is called plasmodium. Generally, nucleus present at center of the cytoplasm. If you observe, if you believe this is a cell, then the nucleus present at center of the cell in case of animal cells. This is the cytoplasm, and nucleus present in the center of cytoplasm. Whereas in plant cells, the nucleus present towards the periphery. Towards the center, there is a cytoplasm, and nucleus present towards the center. If you observe the nucleus of Spirogyra, so Spirogyra, one of the green algae. In green algae, the nucleus present in a central vacuole. This is a central vacuole. Presence of central vacuole is the characteristic feature of plant cells. In Spirogyra, or it is a green algae. In green algae, the nucleus present in central vacuole, or it is also known as sap vacuole. And what is about the size of nucleus? Generally, the size of nucleus depends on its ploidy, set of chromosomes, or its cellular activity. And the size of nucleus, it varies from 5 to 25 macrometers. The size of nucleus is about 5 to 25 macrometers. And this nucleus, now we will discuss about the structure of nucleus. A nucleus has 4 parts. What are the 4 parts of nucleus? Nucleus has nuclear envelope, and second one is called nucleoplasm. The second part is called nucleoplasm, and third one is called chromatin, and last one is called nucleolus. So these are the 4 different parts of nucleus. Nuclear envelope, this is called nuclear envelope, and this is the nucleoplasm, the dots present inside the nucleus, that is known as nucleoplasm. Chromatin, this chromatin, the chromatin and the network-like structure, this network present in the nucleus is called chromatin. Chromatin again two types, euchromatin and heterochromatin. Then nucleolus, this is the darkly stained structure is called nucleolus. So the entire nucleus has 4 parts. What are the 4 parts? Nuclear envelope, nucleoplasm, chromatin and nucleolus. The first part of nucleus is nuclear envelope. This is called nuclear envelope. What is the nuclear envelope? It is the outermost covering. The outermost covering of nucleus is called nuclear envelope. And this nuclear envelope has 2 membranes, outer membrane and inner membrane. This is outer membrane and this is inner membrane. The outer membrane of nucleus has endoplasmic reticulum and 70S type of ribosomes. It has 2 membranes. It is a double membraned cell organelle. The both membranes are collectively known as nuclear envelope, and nuclear envelope is similar to lipoproteins of cell membrane. The structure of cell membrane and the structure of nuclear envelope is similar in case of both presence of proteins and lipids. The outer membrane of nuclear envelope, it has 70S type of ribosomes and rough endoplasmic reticulum. And inner membrane, it has smooth surface on both surfaces. This is the inner membrane, and outside and inside it has smooth surface. But the outer membrane has 70S type of ribosomes and endoplasmic reticulum. And there is a space between 2 membranes, and this space is known as perinuclear space. The thickness of each membrane, that is about 60 to 90 angstrom units, and the thickness of perinuclear space, that is 100 to 500 angstrom units. At places there is a perforations in nuclear envelope, and these pores are called nuclear pores. In nuclear envelope means that is the outermost covering of nucleus. It has 2 membranes, outer membrane and inner membrane. Both outer membrane and inner membrane, they are connected at some places, and these places they leave a small pore, and these pores are called nuclear pores. Nuclear pores plus external substances. Nuclear pores and its external substances is called nuclear pore complex. Nuclear pore, this is the nuclear pore. This nuclear pore has 9 microcylinders. Out of 9, 8 microcylinders towards periphery, 1 towards the center. and these additional substances and pore both are collectively known as nuclear pore complex. And this nuclear pore complex, it is very highly selective in its permeation. This nuclear pore complexes helps in transportation of RNA and proteins from nucleus to cytoplasm. From cytoplasm to nucleus, RNA and proteins they are entered through these nuclear pore complexes. And nuclear pore complex, it is highly permeable. It allows the nucleolus is the site for synthesis of ribosomes, and these ribosomes enter into cytoplasm. But the nuclear pore complex, it prevents the entry of minerals like potassium, sodium and chlorine. So these minerals they are unable to enter from cytoplasm to nucleus through nuclear pore complexes. And this nuclear envelope, the nuclear envelope usually it disappears after the end of prophase. During the cell division, after the end of prophase, the nuclear envelope disappears, and after the telophase, the nuclear envelope is again reappears. So during the cell division, this is the first phase and this is the last phase. After prophase, the nuclear pore is disappears, nuclear membrane or nuclear envelope, and it reappears after telophase. So this is the first part of nucleus, and the second part is known as, that is called nucleoplasm. This is the nucleoplasm. The semi-liquid, non-staining ground substance of nucleus is called nucleoplasm. These are the dot-like substance. The dot-like substance present in nucleus is called nucleoplasm. So what is nucleoplasm? It is semi-liquid. It is semi-liquid, non-staining. Semi-liquid, non-staining ground substance. So ground substance of nucleus is called nucleoplasm. And this nucleoplasm, the nucleoplasm is very rich. Or nucleoplasm contains nucleotides, or it also contains nucleosides. It also contains nucleosides. It contains proteins. It contains number of RNAs, and it also contains DNA polymerase enzyme and RNA polymerase enzyme. So for synthesis of nucleic acids, so nucleoplasm is very important site. So nucleotides, the combination of nucleotides is called the polymers of nucleotides is nucleic acids. So synthesis of nucleic acids, nucleoplasm is very important. And here, so below the nuclear pore complex, so intermediate filaments, already I told you, intermediate filaments, they are fused to form a structure, and the structure is called fibrous lamina, and this fibrous lamina, it provides support for the chromatin fiber. So it provides a scaffold, or it provides a mechanical support to the chromatin fiber. So this is the nucleoplasm is the second structure of nucleus. And next one is chromatin. Chromatin was discovered by, the term chromatin was given by, again I am telling you, Fleming. The term chromatin was given by Fleming. So what is chromatin? It is a network-like structure. The network-like structure present in nucleus is called chromatin. And this chromatin, later chromatin condenses to form chromosomes. For example, this is a chromatin, and this chromatin fiber condenses to form chromosomes. So chromosomes originated from chromatin, and this chromatin is divided into two types, euchromatin and heterochromatin. Euchromatin, this is the euchromatin, lightly stained part of chromatin is called euchromatin, and euchromatin, it is transcriptionally it is very active. What is transcription? So formation of mRNA, making of mRNA over DNA, this process is called transcription. So this process, so later it is converted into chromatin or chromosomes, and this part it is actively produce mRNA. That's why euchromatin is very actively involved in transcription. Lightly stained part of chromatin is called euchromatin, transcriptionally inactive, and it influences changes in pH and temperature. If temperature and pH changes occur, then it also influenced by abiotic factors like pH and temperature. Then heterochromatin. So this part, darkly stained region of chromatin, darkly staining region of chromatin is called heterochromatin, and this heterochromatin transcriptionally it is inactive. It is unable to produce mRNA from DNA. So that's why heterochromatin is transcriptionally inactive, and it do not influence the changes in pH and temperature. So these are the two different types of chromatin. Chromatin, what is chromatin? It is a network-like structure. Network-like structure present in nucleus is called chromatin. Chromatin again divided into two types: euchromatin and heterochromatin. Euchromatin lightly stained, heterochromatin darkly stained. Euchromatin transcriptionally active, heterochromatin transcriptionally inactive. Euchromatin is influenced by changes in pH and temperature. Heterochromatin is not influenced by changes in pH and temperature. So these are the three different parts. In the next video, we will discuss about how chromatin reduced into chromosomes, and last part of the nucleus, that is nucleolus. So from that video, this chapter, the cell, the unit of life is chapter, that is totally completed. Only one video is left. Good morning, students. In this video, we will discuss another part of nucleus. In the previous video, we will discuss about the three parts of nucleus. So nucleus has nuclear envelope, nucleoplasm, chromatin, and nucleolus. So already in the previous video, we will discuss about up to chromatin. Here, this is the chromatin. The network-like structure present in the nucleus is called chromatin. And the chromatin, the term chromatin was given by Fleming. Already I told you. And this chromatin, usually it contains DNA, RNA, and proteins. Then finally, chromatin material. This chromatin material reduced into chromosomes. This is the network-like structure is nothing but chromatin. Chromatin contains DNA, RNA, and proteins, and the condensation of these three, or the condensation of chromatin, results in the formation of chromosomes. So let us discuss the structure of chromosomes. So chromosomes, they are the they are rod-like structures. They contain DNA, RNA, and proteins. And chromosomes are the vehicles. They are the vehicles of heredity. They are the vehicles of heredity or inheritance from one generation to the next. And the largest number of chromosomes present in Ophioglossum. Ophioglossum, it is a kind of fern, pteridophyte, and it contains 1260 chromosomes in diploid condition. In diploid condition, Ophioglossum contains 1260 chromosomes. And in human beings are also diploid organisms, and totally it contains 46 number of chromosomes. Out of 46 number of chromosomes, the chromosomes are usually two types. What are the two types? Autosomes and sex chromosomes. Autosomes and sex chromosomes. So sex chromosomes are also called allosomes. Autosomes are 44. They are body chromosomes. They are similar in all types of human beings. And chromosomes are two types. So in human male, XY, and human female, their X and X chromosomes are present. The largest number of chromosomes present in a fern, 1260. In diploid cell of human being contain 46. 46 chromosomes present in 23 pairs, and out of 23 pairs, 22 pairs or 44 are autosomes, and one pair or two chromosomes are sex chromosomes. XY chromosomes present in male, and XX chromosomes present, these two sex chromosomes present in female. So these are the different types of chromosomes. So already I told you chromosome is the vehicle to carry the information or hereditary information from one generation to the next generation. So let us discuss the structure of chromosome. The chromosome, if you observe the structure of chromosome, so this is the structure of chromosome, and this chromosome has two similar parts. This is one part and this is another part. These two similar parts, each chromosome has two similar parts, and these two similar parts are called chromatids. This is one chromatid and this is another chromatid. and the both chromatids they are jointed. They are jointed at a place, and this particular place, this is called centromere. So this is the center of the chromosome. Both chromatids they are together at a place, and that particular place is known as centromere. And this centromere is also known as primary constriction. Primary constriction of chromosome. And each centromere, this is the centromere. What is the centromere? The place where chromatids are joined. So what are chromatids? The two similar parts of chromosomes. The two similar parts of chromosomes is known as chromatids. And each centromere has two lateral proteinaceous structures. And these two lateral proteinaceous structures, they are called kinetochores. So what are kinetochores? Kinetochores are the proteinaceous parts present towards the peripheral region of centromere. And kinetochores, they provides attachment site. They provides attachment site for spindle fibers during the cell division. So spindle fibers, they are the fiber-like structures. During the cell division, chromosomes they undergo replication or they undergo division. So for division, so some proteinaceous structures are called spindle fibers, and the spindle fibers are usually they are attached at the place of kinetochores. So each centromere has two kinetochores. This is very important point. Each centromere has two kinetochores. What are kinetochores? Proteinaceous peripheral structures. Proteinaceous peripheral structures of centromere is called kinetochores. Kinetochores provides the attachment site of spindle fibers during cell division. So during the cell division, one cell divides into two cells. For that, chromosomes must undergo cell division. So for that, the spindle fibers are attached at the place of kinetochores. And this chromosomes also contain secondary constriction. So this part is called secondary constriction. The primary constriction is nothing but centromere. And some chromosomes also contain secondary constrictions. And some secondary constrictions are specialized for synthesis of nucleolus and rRNA. The secondary constrictions which are specialized for synthesis of nucleolus and rRNA, that is called NOR, nucleolar organizer region. All secondary constrictions are not NOR. NOR means the secondary constrictions of chromosomes which are specialized for synthesis of nucleolus and rRNA. And such type of secondary constrictions are called nucleolar organizer region. In human beings, there are 46 chromosomes. And here, chromosome number 13, 14, 15, 20 and 21 chromosomes contain NOR. Because these chromosomes, the secondary constriction of these chromosomes are specialized for synthesis of nucleolus and RNA. That's why that particular secondary constriction of these chromosomes are known as nucleolar organizer region. And above the secondary constriction, so there is a knob-like structure, and this knob-like structure, this is known as satellite. And the chromosomes which possesses satellite, they are called SAT chromosomes. In human beings, these chromosomes are SAT chromosomes. 13, 14, 15, 20 and 21 type. These 5 chromosomes are called SAT chromosomes because they have a knob-like structure above the secondary constriction, that is called satellite. If chromosome contains satellite, then chromosomes are called SAT chromosomes. In human beings, chromosome number 13, 14, 15, 20 and 21, these 5 chromosomes are called SAT chromosomes. And these are the ends of chromosomes. So these are the ends of chromosomes are called telomeres. And telomeres usually they prevent the attachment between adjacent chromosomes, because if a cell nucleus, inside the nucleus there are number of chromosomes. If all the chromosomes are attached, then heredity and cell division it is not possible. That's why each chromosome is specific, and one chromosome is do not attached with another chromosome due to presence of telomeres. What are telomeres? They are the ends of chromosomes. Ends of chromosomes are called telomeres. Telomeres prevent the attachment between adjacent chromosomes. So these are the various different parts of chromosome. Chromosome has two similar parts, chromatids. Both chromatids, they are connected with centromere, that is nothing but primary constriction, and centromere has two kinetochores. Kinetochores helps in the attachment of spindle fibers, and some chromosomes or many chromosomes also contain secondary constrictions. Some secondary constrictions are specialized for synthesis of RNA and nucleus, they are called NOR. And no plaque structure present above the secondary constriction is known as satellite, and satellite containing chromosomes are called SAT chromosomes, and these five are the SAT chromosomes. And ends of chromosomes are called telomeres. Telomeres prevent the attachment between the adjacent chromosomes during the cell division. And based on the position of centromere, chromosomes are classified into four types. Based on the position of centromere or primary constriction, chromosomes are of four types. The first one is metacentric chromosome. Metacentric chromosome. In metacentric chromosome, centromere present at center. Centromere present at center of the chromosome. That's why metacentric chromosome has two equal arms. It has two equal arms. This is one arm, and this is one arm, and this is another arm. So both arms have same length. That's why metacentric chromosome has two equal arms, and the shape of the metacentric chromosome, that is V-shaped. Based on the position of centromere, chromosomes are classified into four types. The first one is metacentric. In metacentric chromosome, centromere located at center of the chromosome. So metacentric chromosome has two equal arms. The shape of the chromosome is V-shape. And second one is submetacentric chromosome. In submetacentric chromosome, centromere near to center. Nearer to center. For example, nearer to center. That's why submetacentric chromosome has one short arm and another long arm. Unequal arms present. Unequal arms present in submetacentric chromosome, and the shape of the chromosome is L shape. The shape of the chromosome is L shape. In metacentric chromosome, the shape of chromosome is V. In submetacentric chromosome, the shape of chromosome is L shape. It has two unequal arms, one short arm and one long arm. And third one is acrocentric chromosome. Third one is acrocentric. In acrocentric chromosome, centromere near to tip. Near to tip. That's why this acrocentric chromosome has very short. It has very short arm and very long arm. That means it is also has two unequal arms, and the shape is J shape. The shape of the chromosome is J shape. And last one is telocentric chromosome. In telocentric chromosome, centromere present at the tip. Shape of the chromosome is E shape. So it has only one long arm. So unequal arms present only in submetacentric and acrocentric. Equal arms present in metacentric and telocentric. In metacentric, the shape of the chromosome is V. In submetacentric, L shape. Acrocentric, J shape. Telocentric is I shape. So these are the different types of chromosomes based on the position of centromere. Here, chromatin material, what is chromatin? That is the network-like structure present at the nucleus. And this chromatin contain DNA, RNA and proteins. And all are they are compact, or they are packaging. And packaging of DNA will discuss in class 12. This is the third part of the nucleus. And last part of the nucleus, that is known as nucleolus. This is nucleolus. If you observe the diagram of nucleolus, so like that. And these are the different types. These are some granular and fibrillar structures present. Granular and fibrillar structures present in the nucleolus. So nucleolus, what is nucleolus? It is membraneless. It is membraneless, darkly stained ground substance. Darkly stained ground substance of nucleus. And this nucleolus was discovered by Fontana. Nucleolus was discovered by Fontana. And this nucleolus, in eukaryotes, this nucleolus, it is the site for synthesis of ribosomes. The nucleolus is this is very, very important point. Nucleolus is the site for synthesis of ribosomes. And it has various structures. This is perinuclear membrane, and this is intranuclear membrane, and these are granules, and these are fibrils, and this one is called amorphous matrix. So amorphous matrix present in nucleus is called nucleolus. And this nucleolus, it is a membraneless structure. This is the site for synthesis of ribosomes in case of eukaryotes. And nucleolus, it has 4 parts. The first one is amorphous matrix. And amorphous matrix, it is the ground substance. The ground substance of nucleolus is called amorphous matrix, and it is the precursor. It is the precursor of ribosomes. And second part is called granular part. Granular part, it is the site for synthesis of granules. And third one is fibrillar part, and it is the site for synthesis of proteins and RNAs. And last one is chromatin part, and where chromatin is attached with nucleolus, that is called nucleolar organizer region. For example, this is nucleus, this is nucleolus, this is the chromatin. Where chromatin is attached with nucleolus, that is called nucleolar organizer region. Nucleolus has 4 parts: amorphous matrix, granular part, fibrillar part, and chromatin part. So amorphous part is the site for synthesis of ribosomes. Granular part synthesis of synthesis of granules. Fibrillar part helps in synthesis of proteins, and chromatin part means this one, where chromatin fiber attached with nucleolus, that is called chromatin part. So these are the different parts of nucleolus. From this video, this chapter is totally completed, that is cell, the unit of life. In the next video, we will discuss about another chapter, that is cell cycle and cell division. Thank you.